Hi guys, if you don't know me, my name is Jake, and the channel you're watching, 787 Dude, is all about planes and aviation. And in today's video, I'm going to be explaining the different types of airlines there are. So yeah, let's get into the video. Now, you may wonder what I'm talking about by different types of airlines. Some of you may be thinking about just the difference between different airlines like British Airways and Emirates and Qatar, stuff like that. Not really, kind of, but there's three types of groups that airlines can fit in, and I'm going to be explaining what they are today and airlines, and giving a few examples of airlines that are in these categories as such. So yeah, let's get on with the video for the second time. So the three categories. The first one, and the one that you will probably have never heard about before, is ultra low cost carriers, or ULCC, ultra low cost carriers. And these ultra low cost carriers are airlines that, let's just sum it up as, you pay for the ticket, you think it's really cheap, and then everything else that you want comes after at a really hefty price, which just sometimes make it the same price as a full service airline, which is the next one, which is kind of the top range. So ultra low cost carriers down here, right at the bottom, and then full service airlines are right up here at the top. And then in the middle, you have low cost carriers. So airlines that are ultra low cost but aren't just there at the full service airlines. And you may wonder, well, can airlines move up? Is it how many years they've been an airline for? Absolutely not. It's what they offer, how expensive the ticket is, where they actually fly to. Loads of different factors. Like even what airports they're based from, and stuff like that. So, for example, of a full service airline, an airlines that, I'll give a few examples for viewers from other places around the globe. So for example, UK full service airlines could be British Airways or Virgin Atlantic, and then Asian full service airlines like Singapore Airlines, JAL. That's it's really hard for me to say it all the time. Like, I keep on saying JAL. It's really hard to say. Anyway, JAL, Air China, Air India, all these airlines from Asia, and then over in America, airlines like Delta, American. So you kind of get the gist, right? Airlines that will fly to massive big airports like London Heathrow and JFK and LAX and Changi in Singapore and other places all the way around the globe, connecting you to loads and loads of destinations from everywhere. So let's move down a rank. Not ultra low cost carriers. Low cost carriers. What is a low cost carrier? A low cost carrier is not like a full service carrier. They don't offer the premium service, the full service that you'd get on an airline like British Airways. Example of this, EasyJet over here in England. An airline that is pretty cheap. Yes, it flies to quite loads of destinations. Loads of destinations. Their fares are quite cheap, but there's lots of add-ons, and maybe having to pay for lots of extra food, which, don't get me wrong, if you've ever been on a BA flight, you can pay for food. There is food that you can buy, but they also give you free food, free drinks and food, which on some other airlines, like low-cost carrier airlines, you have to pay for all the food and drink, which isn't the same for a full-service airline. So yeah, like EasyJet, great example of this over in the UK. Probably wouldn't be able to like America. It's quite hard because I'm not like don't know, like Alaska, Frontier, airlines like that. Because I would say Southwest, but from what I've heard, they're like a pretty good at like up there. I don't know, not too sure. I'm not too sure about America. So yeah, low-cost carriers are probably airlines that you've been on mostly when you've been on holiday, like EasyJet, TUI, and yes, TUI is a low-cost carrier, and I will explain that in a minute because lots of people will think, oh, it's a full-service airline, and it depends kind of where you look at it. But so like TUI, and other UK airlines and stuff like that. So that's a brief explanation. And then the last one, ultra low cost carriers, quite a mouthful, is airlines that are like, let's sum it up, like Ryanair. Airlines which their fares are either really cheap or really expensive. They hardly offer, like, all you get really included in your ticket is hand baggage and at a push and the fare, so your actual ticket. Everything else, everything else is at a hidden cost. I've looked at it so many times on the Ryanair, when you go to book your flight on Ryanair, so many times, and I think, oh, Toulouse, 21 quid, what a steal. Go on to the next page, oh, wow, you want to sit here? Well, that's another 20 quid. You want a suitcase? Well, 37 quid. And you're like, 37 quid. And, by the time you've booked both there and back, and if you need a suitcase, obviously you need one for there and back, because, you're not going to dump the suitcase. And ow, that hurt. That really hurt. And what I find is actually sometimes BA flights, British Airways for longer terms, what they offer is actually better money than what Ryanair will if you need everything. That doesn't go all the time, no, because like I've just said, you need a bag. Like if you're going for a day or 2 days and you don't need a suitcase at all and you're literally fine with hand luggage, that is fine. Then these low cost carriers are like, these ultra and low cost carriers will be your friend. They're really cheap, really affordable, and they fly from a lot smaller airports, or maybe not the main airports, which I'll get to in a minute. So yeah, that's kind of like a brief of what an ultra low cost carrier airline is. An airline that pretty much is just the ticket and everything else comes at a extra cost, which can normally be quite expensive. So, airports. Where do these 3 category airlines actually fly to and depart from? Hubs. If you were to look at hubs, you'll find BA, main hub, which has always been the main hub, London Heathrow International Airport. I just like to say London Heathrow International Airport because it makes it so long, and Heathrow is my favourite airport, BA is my favourite airline. They have been since I've started liking planes, which is 6 and I'm 13 now. So if you do the maths, that's 7 years. I've been fascinated by planes, and I went on my first plane when I was 7, so a year after I started liking them, and that was a Virgin Atlantic 747-400 from London Gatwick to Orlando International. But that's a bit of history. Yeah, so where do they fly to? So you'll find that full service airlines like British Airways, Qatar, Emirates, Singapore Airlines, and stuff like that will fly from the main country's airport. As you'll find, British Airways, London Heathrow, Singapore Airlines, Changi. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Changi. I'm not too sure. Delta over in America, Hartfield, Atlanta Jackson. Atlanta Airport, the biggest airport in the world. I believe it has 192 stands. I think. I'm not too sure. I believe it's the biggest airport in the world, or the busiest airport. I think it's the busiest airport. It's probably not the biggest airport, because I think Dubai wants to build a new airport, a massive airport, 4 terminals, and it's massive. Anyway, yeah. So you'll find that full service airlines normally fly from the main airports, but at the same time flies from loads of the smaller airports, like British Airways, for example. They'll fly from Southampton, which is the closest airport to me here, on a BA City flyer, which is their smaller Embraer 190s, take you around mainland Europe and England. BA will fly from Gatwick. They fly from London City Airport, Manchester, which is also another big one. I'm not saying Manchester's not, because I think biggest and busiest airports in orders for England is Heathrow, Gatwick, then Manchester. The Manchester's quite a big airport, actually. 3 terminals, 2 runways. It's quite a big airport. So yeah. Anyway, I keep on. The bad thing is I keep on going off on side tracks, which annoys me as well, because I can't just get to the point. So the point, what I'm trying to say is, full service airlines will fly from loads of different airports and will fly everywhere, literally everywhere. You can always find, there's few airlines out there, BA being one of them. BA is known for one of the biggest airline routes in the world. They can, what do you call it? You can access all six continents with BA, excluding Antarctica. That's how far, and BA will normally have loads and loads of flights just to one continent, and let alone one country, actually. And same with other airlines as well. But so you'll find that full service airlines fly all around the globe. I mean, everywhere. They fly from big airports that are really expensive, which I'll get onto in a minute, and smaller airports that aren't so expensive, which I'll also get on in a minute. So moving on, I'm out of breath now. I'm explaining all that. I'm joking, I'm not. Moving on, where do low-cost carriers fly from? And ultra-low-cost carriers at the same time, because it's kind of the same. Well, both of these category airlines will fly from pretty much the same airport. Normally you can find, smaller airports that aren't as expensive to fly to. So this could include airport taxis, airport servicing vehicles, airstairs, air bridges, pretty much everything that an airline gets. An airport goes into how expensive it is to land there. Sorry, I'm hungry. So yeah. So you're flying airlines like Ryanair, EasyJet, Wizz, TUI. All these airlines will pretty much fly from the same airport, which is London Gatwick. You can find all these airlines at London Gatwick. Ryanair's main English hub is Stansted, but their official hub is Dublin in Ireland. I think it's in Ireland anyway. Alexa, where's Dublin?
Dublin is a city in the province of Leinster in the eastern part of Ireland.
Thank you. I don't know why I made chocolate on a YouTube video. I don't know why. Anyway, so yeah, you'll find these airports smaller, cheaper to fly to, because every airport has a tax. Fun fact, it costs £10,000. I'll say it again, £10,000 to land, for an airline to land one plane. I'm talking one plane at London Heathrow. Like the average size plane. I mean, we're talking 787 size, and I'm going 787 size because it's like middle. So it'd be probably a bit cheaper for an A320, an A320 family aircraft. A bit more expensive for the bigger airplanes like the 777, A350, 787, and the A380, because of fuel and how long they need to stand for. Their takeoff slot and their landing slot is a bit longer because of the air and the airwaves generated from the engines. You always find if an A380 comes into land, there's always a gap. Always a gap, a bigger gap than a smaller aircraft. Unlike an A380, I think I've never actually seen two A380s land in a row. I've never seen it. If I'm going to Dubai, I probably will. Remember, or any other place, probably will. But I've never actually seen two A380s land in a row, so I'm not too sure. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not too sure if it works the same with A380s, if there's a gap, or if they can just handle it because they're the same size. Yeah, so I'm not sure about the A380 thing. But yeah, you always find if a big one comes into land, there's normally another big one behind it, or there's a massive gap. And it's going to be a little bit A320. That actually should bring me on my next point as well, but I missed out. Aircraft operated. That is so strange. I've literally reminded me of something very important as well. That is a factor of this. Anyway, so that's the airport. And you probably heard me say airport taxes. I think I've said it right. Airport taxes is everything from landing at an airport. So if BA wants to land a 787 at the airport, Heathrow goes, okay, well, with what you're going to have an air bridge, you're going to have catering, you're going to have fuel to get you there, you're going to need Heathrow staff, they're going to have to pay their tug guys and the fuel guys and all that. You're taking up a slot, even though Terminal 5 is British Airways terminal. It is. There are only two other airlines I've seen in Terminal 5 is Iberia and American, and I've only seen American once. Every time I go to Terminal 5, I see an Iberian plane, normally going to Madrid or Barcelona, one of the two. I've actually done that flight, Heathrow to Barcelona. Excuse the noise if you can hear it. It's just my siblings. Ooh, being loud. So, yeah, that's an airport tax. An airport tax is what an airline has to pay. They're normally quite expensive for bigger airports, like national airports, like what you class as an airport. And then the baby Gatwick and Stansted and Luton especially, they're just airstrips compared to Heathrow, really. Heathrow's an airstrip if you compare it to like Atlanta or another massive like Texas, LAX, tiny, but American airports are massive. You don't understand how big airports are. From English point of view, Heathrow's massive, right? 4 miles long, and I think it's 4 miles long, and I'm not too sure about how wide it is. I think it's a mile, because when you walk around the exterior of Heathrow, there's a walk you can do. It's about 10 miles, so I'm guessing if it's 4 miles long each, that's 8 miles, and you've got 2 miles left, so yeah, I don't know. I'm not too sure. That's what I'm going with, though. Oh, wait. Yeah. So, that's distracted me now. Close my window. My neighbour's being too loud all the time. But yeah, I think it's about 10 miles. But that's for another video anyway. Well, it won't be for another video because I want to make a video just for how long Heathrow is. I mean, I could do that. Anyway, so airports. Yeah, you'll normally find that airports that low cost and ultra low cost carriers fly to are a lot smaller because they're not expensive. Yeah. Next point, aircraft used. Aircraft operated. Now there is two types of a low cost carrier. Long haul low cost carrier, which there is a lot less of, trust me, and short haul low cost carrier, which actually saying that probably moves TUI into the full service belt, because I don't really think, there's such a thing as a low cost carrier that's a short haul and long haul. But then at the same time, Virgin Atlantic only does long haul because they lost loads and loads of money, so they stopped their domestic flights and their short haul flights because the money's not there on them. It really is not. There's no point, really. So to be honest, that's like a non-decided. But Virgin Atlantic's definitely a full service airline. You go on Virgin Atlantic, you get everything. Virgin Atlantic's sometimes better than BA. I mean, BA's still my favourite airline. Will always be. Should always be anyway. Unless Qatar. We want to fly to Qatar. Really, that is like bucket list of airlines I want to fly. Along with Singapore Airlines and Virgin Atlantic again. Because they were just too good. Anyway, aircraft operated. Obviously, for a short haul airline, which there are a lot more of in this beautiful dying world. And only 3% of that is caused by aviation, by the way. So don't start commenting on my aviation's the main cause and planes. 3% of aviation is climate. The reason for climate change. No, 3% of climate change is caused by aviation. Only 3%. So keep your mouths closed, cause that isn't even a tenth, or that's not even a tenth of 3%. So realistically, stop. I don't know. What should we stop? The boats. They're sailing for ages. I mean, just stop the boats. But then if you stop the boats, then everything is going to have to get shipped by plane, and then aviation would go up and caused of climate change. So anyway, that's another video. That is definitely another video that I'm not doing. Sorry. Anyway, I really need to get a move on here, don't I? It's taking forever. It's going to turn out as a domestic flight one. The international flight. So long for no reason. Moving on. Finally. Aircraft operated. So you'll find low cost airlines and ultra low cost airlines will normally be short haul because the taxes it's a lot cheaper for fuel and everything like that. Examples of airlines are EasyJet, Wizz, Ryanair, Loganair. That can't be it. Eastern Airways. In America, Frontier, Allegiant. I think I've said that right. Don't know. Yeah, Buzz. Vueling. I'm just naming airlines owned by other airlines at this rate, aren't I? Yeah, isn't that crazy? Ryanair has like two other branches of Ryanair. Like they have Ryanair, which is the main one. Then they have Buzz by Ryanair, and they have Laundria or something as well. Red. Ryanair's blue. Buzz is yellow, and Launda. I don't know what it is. Is red. Have I said Wizz? I think I have said Wizz. I think I have. I probably have. Anyway, these beautiful, lovely, category of airlines all mostly operate one type of aircraft group. Yes, you would be correct in saying the Airbus A320 family. Personally, one of my favourite like families of planes ish, because kind of, yeah. Oh yeah, I quite like the A320 1 and 20 and the 19, I guess, because you like one and you like them all. Really, they're the same thing. Just called different names and called different prices, really. But anyway, moving on. Now, one airline operates Boeing. Ooh. And the other airline operates a range of Embraer, more Embraer, and that is Logan Air for Embraer, and Ryanair, obviously, for the 737s. And these aircraft are cheap, and you can easily buy them in bulk. That is why they are used by lots and lots and lots and lots. But long-haul airlines, now this is actually where it gets quite interesting. The plane they'll actually use are normally, and I say normally, are the A321 XLRs, so extra long range, or 787s. 787-8s and 9s are commonly used, like Norwegian when it was not retired, and then funny enough, Norse come along. Wonder where that come along from. TUI, kind of. They use all Boeing fleet, and by using only one company's, it's cheaper. It really is cheaper, and by using the same sort of family, like A321, A320 family, you don't really have to train your pilots a lot more. Obviously, for the A321, there's a bit of extra training because the aircraft is obviously extended, and by the aircraft being extended, therefore, increase the risk of a tail strike, as commonly the back is extended, or the back is extended, and also the front is extended. So the back's extended anyway. So yeah, I'm trying to think of any other points that I had, but I don't think I did. So yeah, I think I'm going to end the video off right here, right now. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I really do hope you give it a subscribe, a like and subscribe, because it helps this channel grow bigger, and it helps just me. I really do enjoy seeing my subscriber count go up every time one of you guys subscribe. And, you know, if you're watching this video and you've made it to the end, then you might as well subscribe, because you obviously liked it enough to watch to the end, right? And you should also like the video as well. And share with all your family and friends, and make more people know about the 787 Dude channel. Also, if you never want to miss one of my brilliant kind of videos, then also hit the notification bell. But to hit the notification bell, you have to subscribe. So if you want to know when the next video comes out, then you have to subscribe as well. So it's kind of like a win-win for me and me only, really. But subscribing's free, and if you really want to take time out of your day to unsubscribe, then your life must be pretty boring, to be honest. Unless you have loads of spare time and you're like, let's subscribe to him, because why not? Then okay. But if you don't, and you would like to support this young, growing channel, then please subscribe and hit the notifications bell. And yeah, so let's just all do that, We'll do it, because, normally people only give you 3 seconds, and I understand that is not long enough. So I'll give you 10 seconds. That is like a really long time. It's 10 seconds of my time that I'm wasting. Not really, I'm not really wasting it. Anyway, countdown just when it gets to 50. 10, 9, you better subscribe. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you probably haven't subscribed, but I'm going to say you have subscribed, so well done for subscribing. Hope you hit the notification bell as well, and like today's video, and obviously share with all your family and friends. And this is it for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I've enjoyed filming it, like always, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. And of course, I've done the same thing that doesn't work every single time, so I don't know why I do it. Goodbye.